I have been effectively black-pilled on our scientific and medical establishment. I don't believe that they have our best interests in mind. I believe that they are medical communists and that they have created mutant viruses using animals to attack human beings and to get their one world globalist government and global communism. And I can prove it to you. Here's how. I have a video of Dr. Fauci describing the COVID virus 3 years before the COVID virus. Now, ignore all of the pandemic planning that you could see in Jeffrey Epstein's emails with Bill Gates. They obviously knew this was coming, but if you research what Dr. Fauci did, you'll find that he was put in charge of bioweapons after 9/11. The Patriot Act gave Dr. Fauci unlimited black box funding through the Pentagon to create bioweapons. He did that here in America. Barack Obama shut him down because all of his laboratories were leaking those bioweapons into the general public population. But you didn't get a big enough outbreak until Dr. Fauci moved offshore to China and he created the COVID virus. And then he predicted the COVID virus right here.
That there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease.
He's talking about the Trump administration. This is the first Trump administration.
Also, there will be a surprise outbreak. And
oh, a surprise outbreak. Weird. Dr. Fauci's been serving since Gerald Ford. Dr. Fauci ever predict that Nixon would have a surprise outbreak, or Gerald Ford, or Ronald Reagan, or Jimmy Carter, or Bill Clinton, or George W. Bush, or Barack Obama, or Joseph R. Biden? No, he only predicted one administration would have a surprise outbreak because he knew what the hell he was about to do. And so I got to tell you, when I see news stories about massive surprise outbreaks, I go straight to Dr. Fauci. And maybe that's just me being a Luddite. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll at least admit my biases to you, and I'll let you decide. Anthony Fauci advisor has been indicted on lying about his source, origins of COVID-19. Former NAID official indicted on concealing federal records during COVID-19 pandemic. Why would you conceal the records unless you were creating a pandemic and using some type of module in order to get that virus out into the public, like a cruise ship? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a cruise ship. It is called the Hondius. This is a first registered Polar Class 6 vessel. It is a vessel that is European in origin. It is meant to travel the world in general luxury and to take passengers staircase. Some music going here. Observation lounge. Okay, really nice. You can go see turn the music off. Okay, library. Anyway, it's a nice cruise ship. These are the images of it. And you travel around and you look at polar ice caps, right? Look at this. Wow. Kind of cool, honestly. But there is a real problem with this cruise ship. A horrific virus has killed people on this cruise ship, in spite of the fact that they have a no smoking policy. This cruise ship, which, by the way, cost thousands and thousands of dollars to go on the Northwest Iceland Explorer ship, for instance, or going to the Arctic Ocean, going and seeing some of these exotic places on Earth, now has gotten quite exotic on the ship itself, as a rat-borne virus is ripping through the ship and is killing people. Ocean-wide Expeditions is dealing with a serious medical situation on board the Hondius, which is currently off the coast of Cape Verde. A brief timeline of the medical situation. A passenger died on board on April 11th. The cause of death could not be determined on board. The passenger disembarked in St. Helena with his wife, accompanying the repatriation. Then more people became unwell both people were Dutch nationals at this time. This has not been confirmed with the two deaths, but we know what they're associated with because there is now another passenger on board that has died of German nationality. In addition, there are 2 crew members on board with acute respiratory symptoms, one mild, one severe. Both require urgent medical care. These crew members are British and Dutch nationality. At this time, no persons with symptoms have been identified. Hantavirus is what people, hantavirus, correction, is what people are saying this is. This is a rat-borne virus. For those of you who are locked into the news cycle, Gene Hackman is said to have died of this. You remember the mysterious events of Gene Hackman and his wife's death? Very peculiar. It's a virus that lives on the back of rats. Rats, of course, have been the carriers of many deadly diseases. And you can see here the path of this doomed cruise line. Here we go. Dutch authorities will attempt to repatriate 2 sick people from a cruise ship battling with a severe suspected hantavirus outbreak, claimed the 3 lives. This is the first statement from the ocean-wide expeditions confirmed dealing with a serious situation. Dutch authorities have agreed to lead a joint effort to organize the repatriation of 2 symptomatic individuals. If this can take place, the ministry will coordinate it. However, Cape Verdean authorities are reluctant to allow the move, with a local outlet reporting that the president of Cape Verde Public Health Institute ship should continue its route, and passengers should not be disembarking in Cape Verde to protect the local population. Let's go ahead and check the marine tracker. So here's where the actual vessel is right now. You can see it's off the coast here of Cape Verde, and it's just, you can see its track. It's just literally, doing squigglies in the water. This ship tracking app is so awesome. Marinetraffic.com. Check it out. You can go see where it's been. It's traveled the world, but this is Cape Verde. Where is that exactly? It's off the coast of Africa. That's where it is on the Earth. And hantavirus, what is it? It is a disease. The United States began in 1993 during an outbreak, severe respiratory illness, Four Corners region, area, Arizona. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome became nationally notifiable disease in 1995, now reported through the disease when fever is present, patient laboratory confirmed evidence of hantavirus infection. There were 890 cases of hantavirus disease in the United States. So you can see that this is something that is, I guess, not exactly rare, but it travels on the back as a disease that tries a rat-borne disease. And people are saying, oh shit, here we go again, right? Yeah. Suspected outbreak on this vessel. Very bad. 3 people have died on a cruise ship. 1 case of hantavirus infection has been laboratory confirmed. There are 5 additional suspected cases. Of course, rats like ships like these. They can live on ships like these quite easily. And of course, because the ship is such tight quarters, you could infect everybody on board. They could all die. 3 have already died. A British passenger in intensive care. So authorities say the first victim died on board. Yeah. So they're dropping like flies. Another reason to just not do cruises. WHO is aware of the supporting public health event involving the cruise vessel. Oh, good. They're in on it. They literally are in on it. The people that brought you COVID are now ready to crack the case here. 1 case of hantavirus infected, laboratory confirmed, and there are 5 additional suspected cases. Of the 6 affected individuals, 3 have died and currently in intensive care. Not good. So whatever you do not let the ship come into New York Harbor. Like this is like Dr. Fauci's like, bring it into New York Harbor. Let's make sure that we send as many old let's bring it into a nursing home in New York. Let's make sure there's a New York, dock the entire cruise ship in a New York nursing home. Yeah. How the hell is this guy still in charge of the WHO? How is he not in shackles right now? Okay. The director of the WHO says he's very worried about the hantavirus outbreak on board the cruise ship. Here we go again. There are 149 people, 23 nationalities on board the cruise ship with the virus death. Suspected hantavirus outbreak. It has been blocked from docking. Yeah. At some point, you just kind of make a good decision for the good of humanity. Brace yourself. One of the first major outbreaks in 2020 began on the Diamond Princess outside of China. So this is them saying, okay, they bring the virus back. They started COVID on cruise ship in China. And just a reminder, this is how Gene Hackman died. Ooh, new pandemic in 2026? 12% chance. Wow. You actually literally hate to see it. You hate to see it. Dr. Fauci, limitations on prosecuting him. Boy, that'd be nice. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't trust these people. I've seen enough. I'm thoroughly black-pilled. How about you? What do you think? Dock the cruise ship inside of New York Harbor, right next to the nursing home. Yeah, that's what these people actually did, right? Put everybody on a ventilator. Crimes against humanity. Dr. Fauci is, wherever they bring this ship, Dr. Fauci is one of the largest mass murderers in human history, maybe the largest mass murderer in human history. And he deserves the gulag. It's your boy, Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.